As you can see, I'm not in Mexico City at the moment. I'm in San Jose del Pacifico. That's a little mountain town, as you can see, hopefully. But I wanted to give you a small recap what I did in Mexico City. I owe you that. So let's talk about sports, obviously, as my first category. I kept my promise. I did go out almost every day or did some kind of sports activity every day. When I landed, I right away went jogging and did some minor workout in my hostel room. Mexico City is like above 2,000 meters, so I actually was suffering quite a bit. I took a salsa class, and I think the thing that I enjoyed the most sports-wise, I found out how to find like outdoor gyms in Mexico City. If you just, whenever you go, if you ever search for barras, which means bars, you can easily find like lots of places in Mexico City. And one was quite close by my hostel. I will also post a video about that later, where I did some workout, and that was pretty good. So I would say sports activity good, jogging by the way not so good. So if you go to Mexico City, pick out a place where you can free roam, because not every part of the city has a park, but there are parks, and they're nice, but be close to one of them because the city is massive. So my second topic of today is safety and accommodation. I felt Mexico City was quite safe actually, although it's known not to be. Maybe I was just lucky, who knows? But overall, I had quite the feeling it is actually better than its reputation. So I could walk around freely. I walked around with my camera out, no problems. At times I thought like, if I want to rob myself now, I could do it easily. So at least in the area I stayed, which is central, there's like a lot of police going around. So that helped quite a bit, I think. And my accommodation was really good. I liked it. It's called Casa Pepe. And the beds were nice. The people who were there were nice, although that's always just changing, obviously. Nobody was snoring, which usually always happens in hostels. So far, really good. And I really liked the offerings of the hostel. They had DJs, salsa classes, taco classes, bands. There was always some kind of activity upstairs on the rooftop where I took my first video, and I really liked it. It's good. The third category I want to talk about is transport. I really thought I would only use taxis because everything will be unsafe, but as you already heard, I felt quite safe. So I only took a taxi from the airport to my hostel, which, because it was already late and I didn't know the city and I didn't know much what was going on and how I would get from A to B. After that, I started taking mainly buses and trains. So the train system isn't too great, I would say. It works well, but there are not that many lines, I think, for the size of the city at least. To use the bus system and train system, you need like a card. Many cities have this, like you get it at the counter. But seriously, it's so cheap. I think the card itself is like maybe, I don't know, 50 cents or €1. And then every ride is like 10 cents. It's so cheap. It's amazing. So if you ever want to go anywhere, you can go quite quickly. Like even to the airport, which is a bit more expensive, you pay like €2. Other cities easily charge like 6, 7, or €8 just to get from the airport because they know you have to pay. So that's nice. I walked lots of places as well. The city is big, but at least in central there's lots to see, so I could walk many places. My next topic is food and culture. I tried to learn as much as I could about Mexico City and the history. So I went to the Anthropology Museum, which is massive. This place is huge. So I just started in there, and at some point I had to take a nap because I was so tired. This is too big. Like some people said, they spent there 4 hours. Actually, in the pyramid video you might have seen, you could see some of the artifacts of that museum actually. What else did I do? I did like 2 guided tours. One was in the city center. I didn't like it too much, but I learned some interesting facts. For example, Mexico City is like sinking because of 2 reasons. First, it used to be a lake, so the area is or the ground is kind of swampy. Um, and as there is so many people building stuff on top of it, so it sinks. And the second reason is they're pumping lots of water out of the ground. Actually, some areas of Mexico City only have water for some hours of the day, so it is actually quite the issue. I felt a little bad, to be honest. I didn't know that from the beginning, and so I didn't really watch out how much water I was using. Mexico City is sinking by 50, 50 centimeters every year. And it's said to be that many of the historic buildings will not be there in like 10 years. But there's a silver lining right in the center, and that was like the main Aztec temple. It was only discovered because some of the buildings built on top of it collapsed during an earthquake. But yeah, overall, if some of the buildings collapse, there's always a possibility that there's some historic artifacts below it. So there's a small silver lining to that. I went to the pyramid of Teotihuacan, which you might have seen already. It was really good, although our guide kind of sucked. But there was one good thing about it. We had like a small detour to a restaurant, and there was another guide, and he explained all the things you can do with the agave plant, and it's quite central to the Mexican culture actually, as this was and is used to make clothes, drinks, food. So it's quite like the base of culture. He said it. He explained to us because if you have a plant you have to carry around, like you have to care for, you cannot move around. So this was the start of the civilization in this area. So it was quite interesting, and he was good in explaining it. We had some tequila shots, we had some mezcal shots, we had some pulque, and it's like you take the juice of an agave tree, agave plant, and right away let it ferment for maybe a few days, and then you get this like very sparkling, sweet drink. It reminded me a little bit of actually rice wine. For the ones who know, I'm quite the fan of that. That was really nice and interesting. And food wise, I had so much good food. Trust me. I basically went only to like small street vendors to eat, and it was always exciting to see what I would get. Different kind of tacos, quesadillas. One time somebody just gave me some little crickets to try, so I had really different experiences there. All right, let's wrap this up. So Mexico City was great. Overall, I think I would give it an 8 out of 10. To my likings, it was a little too big and a tiny bit smelly in some areas. But there's so much to see, great architecture, great food, and yeah, just really nice. I would go there again. All right, that's it. And stay fit while travel. Bye bye. Actually, me again. Actually, the whole time I was talking to you, a little dog was giving me company. So nice. All right, bye bye.